Welcome to the Reed Report. Appreciate you guys for taking this time to hear me out. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Of course, man, as we continue, it is day 3 since the election, day 3 or 4, whatever, since the election. And of course, by now, you all know that Donald Trump won the election and is once again the president of the United States. And all the news, while we transition, wait for the transition and things like that, all the news is about the meltdowns of all the left, the media, the left-wing people. And you're starting to see a lot of talk I've been seeing is about accountability, who's to blame, things like that. Of course, everybody's going in on the women from The View, as they, probably gotten some of their biggest ratings from conservatives ever in a long time, because everybody's enjoying like what they're seeing from The View, all the anger and everything like that. And I just wanted to share some clips. It's interesting because as I look back at what went wrong, that's really what's the topic been. What went wrong for the Democrats? What went wrong for them during this election? You had too much. It was way too much, and it didn't all start with this, but it all started with, I forgot who the first celebrity. I don't know. Well, I don't know the first celebrity, but I just think I just keep going back to Meg Thee Stallion. I keep going back to Meg Thee Stallion when after her performance at one of Kamala's rallies, I just remember the backlash and how people were just like so over it. And the thing is, you didn't really see a lot of left-wing people. Well, I didn't see a lot of left-wing people defending the backlash Meg Thee Stallion got. They just pretty much took that, and you had people just talking about how annoyed they were by it, and you could feel a shift. You could feel it. It's like, okay, we doing this again. You bringing a celebrity out, an entertainer, a musician out to just shake her butt and perform. Like, there are real, like, y'all, they like to talk about real life issues. There are real life issues happening, and we have to be subjected to Meg Thee Stallion out here. And it was really, I think it really alienated a lot of people that they were once again being subjected to that. I just don't think people were feeling that. It really irked a lot of people. It really pissed a lot of people off to see that. That set the tone for it. Of course, you had the Steve Harveys, the Ricky Smileys, and everything, and people were honestly just tired of that. They were tired of hearing the same old. It was just a shtick, strategy, if that's what you want to call it, that just wore out its welcome. It wore out its welcome. People were no longer interested, and they refused. They always talk about the Republicans being conservative and refusing to change with the times, but that's what the Democrats did. They refused to change with the times, and the times were, people weren't falling for your Beyoncés, Cardi B's, and things like that anymore. You got people, Candace Owens, people like, yeah, I'll go to a Beyonce concert. I love Beyonce. I like Beyonce. But Beyonce is not going to influence where I vote. I'm not voting just because she's Beyonce. She's super famous. Everybody knows Beyonce. One of a kind. But you're not going to determine the outcome of this. Oprah Winfrey came out and they were saying, like I said, a lot of things that were just alienating a lot of people. Coming out saying some of the things, the Obama shaming tactic to black men. Them saying, Oprah saying, oh, this could be the last time you vote, trying to, I guess, insinuate that Trump is going to make this, to where there is no more election. He's going to be, what do they call it, a dictator or whatever, just using all these scare tactics on people. You just had a lot of shaming going on. People telling you to go vote, but then telling you where to place your vote. Calling you misogynist and all this just because you didn't vote where they wanted you to vote. It was ridiculous. It's like the name calling. Is this all you got? Are you going to stop running on identity politics and actually give us something? This is what people are asking for. And now you're upset about the results. You got all these women out here talking about they hope black men and black boys get shot and killed by police officers and things like that. Oh, and next time white women, your husband go upside your head, blah, blah, blah. I hope all the Mexicans get deported. It's like the hatred. It's like, and you wonder why. You're not going to sway somebody with an attitude like that just because you yelling and you upset. People aren't moved by that. And when I hear all these people coming out speaking, you know, calling out the Democrats, like I said it from the beginning, man, you can see the pendulum swinging. People aren't afraid to speak out anymore. That was a time, man, I don't know when exactly it started, but when did it start? I guess sometimes after 2011, 2012 or something, where people were just muzzled and afraid to speak out against certain things that they were not really down with. They had to pretend to be down with it or not speak at all. Things are changing. Those people are no longer afraid to speak out. Like that, like Nick Bosa doing, you know, waving the MAGA hat. He wouldn't have done that 8 years ago. 6 years ago. You got the kicker Harrison Buckner from the Chiefs coming out on his views and things. He wouldn't have done that years ago. These people wouldn't have done that. Joe Burrow pictures with Donald Trump, all these people, these aren't things that were common 8 years ago when Trump, you know, when Trump was elected president the first time. People were afraid to get canceled, but it's no longer like that anymore. It's no longer like that anymore. But again, the Democrats, they just dropped the ball because they refuse to change with the times. You coming out with all these entertainers and people are telling you, the people are speaking, we don't care about this. I'm not voting for you because Meg Thee Stallion is twerking. I don't care. I can go watch this anytime on the internet or at a concert if that's what I'm into. Talk to me. Something is really wrong here. You and Joe Biden has done a horrible job. I don't care. Yes, say my name, crazy in love, single ladies. Yes, I love Beyonce. This is what the people are saying, but I don't care. She's not going to sway my opinion. She's not going to get my vote because she's Beyonce. This is it. This is it right here, man. This is part of where they lost the election at right here. This right here for me set the tone on what was going to basically happen, because this was a slap to the people right here. This was a slap in their face, and they just wasn't going for it. This is what Charlemagne had to say. Let's see what they say. Don't y'all find this strange? Let me see.
I will say this, I'm glad everybody's having a sense of optimism, because the reality is we have no choice, because we're here now. Donald J. Trump is going to be the 47th president of the United States of America, like it or not, and we all hope for the best for this country. That's all we can do. But don't y'all find it strange that now that he's won, they're not calling him a threat to democracy? They're not calling...
Wasn't he saying that as well?
Calling him a fascist. I mean, damn, on Monday...
They're not calling him anything.
They can't. On Monday, they was just calling him that. I would think that, you know, if you really believe that, then somebody's speech would be about how America effed up and how things are about to be really bad.
Leaving that man
He's
alone.
the most powerful man in the world now.
Well, it just makes you wonder how much of it...
We rightfully ignored her, because that don't even make sense. People still spoke their mind about Trump. Unless you got something to hide and he can bring some charges or something up on you, you still gonna say and spew that same the same rhetoric that you had been spewing. So saying that he's the most powerful man in the world now, and that's why, lame excuse. Lame. Your talking point. This is funny.
Okay, so this is it. So you know how those lids are, because this is, I'm just going to speak, okay? So this is it. So you know how those lids...
She said, I'm just going to speak, and you know she's awkward even with a script, but she's even more awkward without a script, and she knew. She said, I'm just going to speak now, okay?
On the Starbucks cups, they're white, right? And so if you wear lipstick, they get all over the lid. And so then I find myself in meetings if I'm the only woman, and that's kind of, and so I keep taking the lid off and having my cup out so that I don't have that big lipstick mark on the lid. So I said, can we do something about the color of the lid? So that was that conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Here it is right here.
And I think that Americans need to keep looking at the rhetoric of Donald Trump, because I don't know why we're even thinking about electing somebody who's talking about putting people in camps. I don't know why why we want to elect somebody who's talking about mass deportation. I don't know why we're having this conversation about somebody who wants to terminate the Constitution. Don't y'all find it strange that now that he's won, they're not calling him a threat to democracy? They're not calling him a fascist. I mean, damn, on Monday. They're not calling him anything.
They can't.
On Monday, they was just calling.
Anyway, that's what we just saw. And again, he was saying the same thing. Let's see. Let's see what this one's about.
As the losing candidate. I saw Kamala was on Saturday Night Live, as the losing candidate often is. It worked so well for Hillary. Let's run that back. And it just made me think, I'm sure every single member of the Saturday Night Live cast was a Harris supporter. But what if one of them wasn't? What if one of those cast members was for Trump? Would they have felt comfortable saying so? I really don't think so. They would have had to keep it to themselves. That's not a good place for us to be. I remember when...
Exactly, man. Exactly. But again, you see the pendulum starting to swing. That's why. Not a good place to be. They tell you to go vote. They get mad if you say you don't vote. But then when you vote against what they wanted you to vote, then they're mad. So you can't win with these people. So you might as well just do what's in your best interest. The people spoke. They didn't want her. And the results showed that it wasn't even close.
And that happens even more on the left. And I remember when Elon Musk hosted, and this is well before he was a Trumper. This is 3 or 4 years. He was just the richest man in the world. And a number of the cast members on Saturday Night Live, they didn't want to deal with him. They didn't exactly boycott, but they made it plain. And I was thinking, really? You have Elon Musk on your show for a week. You could talk to one of the most interesting, brilliant people the world has ever produced, even about this issue that bothers you so much, that he's so rich and lots of people aren't. But no, you don't want to even deal with him. That's what I hate about the left. You're brats. You're brats and you're snobs, and people don't like that.
Exactly. I mean, I've seen it on my Facebook. I don't know if y'all have seen it. I mean, of course you have. You got people saying, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, I mean, let me make it clear. Again, I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote at all because that's my right. I don't have to if I don't want to. But I'm glad she didn't win. I'm glad she didn't win. But you got all these people who can't even have a conversation. They just gonna chop it up to what they perceive it is, and it's gonna be that. So to me, it's like there's no point of even talking to them. It doesn't even matter. If these people are telling you to block them, to not to speak to them, honestly, they are really doing you a favor. They are doing you a big favor. Irrational, just reckless thinkers, as if everything revolves around them. They'll come with you with words as smooth as butter. You think they're the sweetest person, but let you vote or do anything that's against their interests, their beliefs. They'll tell you not to speak about the Bible, but they can speak about their craziness and evil, demonic stuff all day. But their stuff but you can't speak about your beliefs. Talking about God don't belong in politics. The Bible don't belong in politics. When Christ's death was politically driven. So what are we saying? Let's see more. Let's see Joy Reid. Of course, we know this woman right here from MSNBC.
I saw Kamala was on Saturday Night Live.
Right? If you are an LGBTQ person and you know someone in your family voted essentially against your rights, or you're a woman, knowing that this man was calling people the B word. J.D. Vance was literally calling Kamala Harris the trash, and said we're going to take out the trash. I know a lot of black women were incredibly triggered by that. And if you then meet somebody and you know they voted for the people who called you trash, or if you're Puerto Rican,
Bro, one word ain't going to change a person's mind on who they're going to vote for. I mean, it can. Let me back up there. It can. Don't get me wrong. I think Joe Biden, you know what? I take that back. I think Joe Biden had a big hand in what happened as well when he referred to Trump supporters as trash. One word can, but I don't think right-wing people aren't as swayed that easily, I should say. I think that's the better way to put it. They're not gonna, I don't know what JD Vance said to it, but I don't think you're gonna sway those people as easily like that as you can maybe with somebody on the left.
Someone voted that way. Do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question because, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why. To say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood, and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. And I actually
Dumb. Telling you to just cut your family off. It's just like, you can't even process that. Like, so you're mad that I voted. You feel that it's against your livelihood. But what about me? It's a selfish way of thinking. What about me? What if I feel that her way was against my livelihood? Does that not matter? Oh, he's a racist. Okay. That's it. That's all you got? What else? So what they're doing is breaking up families, influencing people to break up families over this. And people are going to listen. They are going to listen to this. They are. And Delano Swear said, this is why so many leftists are miserable people with unfulfilled personal lives. They subscribe to a world view that pits husbands against wife. Yep, parent against child, and friend and against friend. All for the sake of their ideology. Politics is their God. Exactly. And Christ said that people shall betray each other in the end times. In Matthew 24, giving each other up, straight turning on one another. And that's what these people right here are put there to do, to turn families against each other with trash like that they spewing. Sad, man. Sad. I got anything else? There's a lot of people I text. Let me see what this one is.
A challenge with the idea of how you interact with people who voted for this. Right?
What I hear from the usual suspects, I'll call them on the left in the media, is just, again, not looking in the mirror.
They didn't call him Hitler loudly enough.
Or that just a lot of people texted me things like, well, you can't fix.
That's all they ran on. That's all they ran on. Hitler, fascism, police gonna kill black man, immunity. It's like, dude, what is she going to do? And what has she done? The right-wing people spoke to people. They didn't have to use all the fireworks of bringing out all these celebrities. Yeah, you saw Hulk Hogan, things like that, but that doesn't... Nobody's looking at Hulk Hogan the same way they're looking at Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Beyonce, and Kelly Rowland and all that stuff. They didn't come at people the same way that y'all did. They didn't take that same disrespectful approach to the people. They spoke to the people, and all you did was entertain with Meg Thee Stallion and telling people what they should do, and telling people that they're going to be in internment camps if they vote for Donald Trump, as if that was supposed to sway somebody.
Stupid. Sorry, that doesn't work with me. Yeah, you're stupid because you're not thinking about the bigger picture. You're not thinking about maybe we did something wrong. Mm-hmm. Maybe we're not
It's called accountability.
Perfect. It's like a relationship. You got dumped. America dumped you, and they're all like, you don't know what you had.
No, it's
yes,
worse.
they do.
It's
They know what they had, and what they're saying is, we know what we had, and you're a mess. What I hear...
Exactly, man. You're a mess. You guys were a mess. Stop talking. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Unless I want to hear. You're a mess. We weren't feeling it this time around. It's like a girl. It's like, ladies, how would you feel if a guy begged you to be his girl? How would you feel? That's kind of like what the Democrats are doing. Like, they were just begging, saying like, please, please, please take me. Please take me. They ain't telling you what they can do for you to set up your future. The guy ain't telling you, you know what I'm saying, the life he can provide. He's just begging you to be his girl. How would you feel? That's what y'all did to the people. You were just begging. And no girl is gonna be moved by a guy saying please without him spitting game. Or, you know what I mean? No girl is gonna be moved by a beggar. Stop begging. Put the work in.
Here, I personally believe this is a reason that you're not going to want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I personally believe that America is ready for a woman. I personally believe that America is ready for a woman of color, just not that woman and that woman of color.
Right. They weren't feeling it. They don't know her. They don't know her. People keep forgetting. 4 years ago, she didn't even beat Joe Biden in the primaries. She didn't even beat Joe Biden in the primary election. Why didn't y'all vote for her then? Was it misogyny? Was it misogyny when she couldn't even get past Joe Biden to be the Democrats runner against Donald Trump in 2020? They don't know her. The people didn't know who she was. They weren't familiar with her like that. They at least knew Hillary Clinton. At least.
It was Hillary. It was Kamala. It wasn't because they were women and women of color. It was them.
And even though they knew Hillary Clinton, they didn't like Hillary Clinton. I heard that from white conservatives back then. You know, Trump is a jack. But I just don't like Hillary. I heard that a lot. They just didn't like her. That was the truth. That was the gospel truth. Nothing to do. Yes, did people vote against just because? Yeah, I'm not denying that, but them people ain't the majority. They ain't even close. They ain't even close. Some people voted for Trump just because he was white. Some people voted for Trump because they ain't like black people. Some people voted for Trump because Trump is from where they from. They probably, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, yes, you have that small remnant, but that's not the majority. They just didn't know her or like her, just like Hillary Clinton. But if you would have put prime Obama, not the Obama who tried to shame us, if you'd have put prime Obama 12, 16 years ago against Donald Trump, most likely he would have wiped the floor with Donald Trump in this election, like Trump wiped the floor with Kamala Harris.
They just didn't do it. They just didn't do it. You can't say it's racism. You can't say it's sexism. It's them. It's them. You can't point one finger out when you got three pointing at you. You gotta take some responsibility. It was them. They just weren't good enough. They just didn't say the right thing at the right time enough. That, along with all the other bullshit, is why they lost. You gotta look in the mirror. You gotta look in the mirror. At some point, you gotta look in the mirror and take responsibility. She didn't run a perfect campaign. If it was so perfect, she wouldn't have lost.
Right. Perfection does not end in a loss. In an NBA game, if one team goes 60 for 60 on field goal attempts, and the other team goes 59 for 60, team that was perfect from the field is going to win. Perfect does not end in a loss. So she did not run the perfect campaign. The campaign was terrible. It was off-putting. It was disrespectful to people. People didn't like it. People didn't like the cackling, the robotic tones, and things like that. They weren't feeling it this time around. But I'm telling you, man, I'll end with this. The next person that comes after to come out for the Democratic Party, the only way they can win the people back, they're going to have to, of course, run not on identity politics, but run with a policy, run on policy. And they're going to have to bury Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, distancing themselves from what those two did completely. That's the only way it's going to work out for the next Democratic elect in 2028. Because we're going to have a new president in 2028. It's going to be a new president for sure. I know everybody's saying, oh no, it's going to be the last election. Donald Trump is going to be the dictator and we're going to take us back to slavery. No, he's not. But yeah, I just want to react to that because everybody's giving their post-election reaction. So I'm giving my post-election reactions based on a lot of things I've seen. A lot of it has been funny. A lot of it has been hateful. I mean, like I said, man, I might just do a video on all the women that are coming out, the black women coming out saying, wishing all these bad things on people. It's like, sheesh. You wonder why we didn't vote that way. And you wonder why the people didn't vote that way. That's why. Because of stuff like that. But anyway, be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys for hearing me out. And we will talk soon. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.